Welcome to part 2 of our coverage of Bijoya Sawian's talk on Khasi culture and society. In this second and concluding part, Bijoya continues her discussion of the evolution of the role of women in rural versus urban areas and how these roles are being reevaluated in rural communities. In addition, she shares anecdotes from her life to address the importance of both women and men in the Khasi household, and also why gender, interestingly, is not as big of an issue in Khasi society. She further discusses what it was like to grow up in a Khasi household, the sacred relationship that we have with nature, our respect for the conservation of it, and the importance of etiquette and truth as key foundational elements of Khasi society. In conclusion, Bijoya discusses what prompted her to write her first book, Shadow Men, which is an engaging classic novel that touches on how instability has impacted the fabric of everyday life in a place that was once peaceful, untroubled, and calm. If you would like to know more about her work and explore some of her novels, you can access them through links on our website. I hope you enjoy.
Yes, Gabriella, it's very important to also know what about the rural women. The rural women are not so educated, and they know that there's something which the system has to change a little and it has to evolve a little, but they're not sure because, as I said, they're not educated. Because in the urban areas that they are very sure that they don't want to be equal to men, but they want equal opportunities. In the rural area, because of this conflict and confusion, unless they're guided, a lot of alcoholism and domestic violence has started, but things are getting remedied because it's a whole upheaval of the system. And about me, well, I was always sure because we were brought up in a home like that. And I remember once in school, a friend of mine said, I believe in the Khasi home, the woman rules. So I went to my grandmother and I asked her. I was quite shocked. And I went to my grandmother and asked her, Mayrad, is it true? Because I didn't think it was true. She said, look, there's a Khasi saying that a home without a woman is a body without a soul, and a home without a man is a body crippled. So you can understand how equal we've always felt. We all gained the respect, but our duties were very well marked. Then again in college, because you asked about my college and my university years and how I adjusted. Well, I remember once, a boyfriend and girlfriend, they were fighting, and that time Gloria Steinem was just passed out from my college, Lady Sriram, not just, but 5 years before me. And, feminism was at its height, and I kept supporting the boyfriend of the girl. And everyone sort of shrieked and said, Bijoy, you're a traitor, you're horrible, And I said, why? He was in the right. Gender is never an issue. So for a Khasi woman, gender is never an issue. It's just about what is right and what is wrong. So these are the things which I feel, one should share about matrilineal. And I think there's a lot of, I believe there are lots of people in North America also, amongst the Native Americans who are following the matrilineal system and all over the world, and it'll be very interesting to really listen to your podcast later. And about my book Shadow Men, yes, I did write from a man's point of view because it happened one August evening, and I was walking with my sister-in-law Anita, and we were called inside, and my brother said, come in immediately, because we didn't know that the fires burning on the other hill were, cars being burned, and what we thought were patakas, were fireworks, were actually gunshots. So I rushed in, and we all sort of crouched under the staircase, and the first thing I said was, I'm so glad the dogs are still tied. So my sister-in-law laughed and she said, you're talking about militants. I said, I'm sure nobody wants to be a militant. There's no human being who wants to be bad. So Anita says, Bijoy, why don't you write a story? You seem to have a perspective. So that night I started the draft of my book called The Shadow Men. And in 2020, I'm happy to share with you that it was nominated for the prestigious Rabindranath Tagore Literary Prize, along with Amitabh Ghosh. And I think you can read it and you can order it in Amazon. It's Shadow Men, published by Speaking Tiger Books. And also 2 short stories attached to it, which are very interesting and will give you an interesting insight into the Northeast India. And yes, if you talk about how we grew up, I mean, you know, how we grew up. We grew up in a traditional home, and we believe that, you know, like etiquette for the Khasis is not social grace. It's part of worship. We believe that if you respect someone regardless of class, caste, creed, color, you're respecting the Creator. And respecting nature, for example. Conservation has been there amongst the Khasis for thousands of years. We have these sacred groves in, you know, outside all the villages, where no tree is cut, not even a twig is removed. And of course, because they have to bring religion in, they say, you know, there are fairies and goblins there who will, and spirits there who will bring bad luck to you if you do anything in this forest or take away anything. But actually, it was meant for conservation, so that we get fresh drinking water and we attract the rain. So it's a very ancient community, and I think that if you talk about culture, then no matter what faith you belong to, if you're a Khasi, then you're expected to believe in Akor Khasi, that is how to respect people. You're supposed to believe in the clan Tipkur Tipkha. You're supposed to believe in Tibriu Tiblei, no man, no God, which means you must, you must tap and nurture the divinity within to be able to connect to Ublei, the super consciousness, the great divinity outside. And last but not least is always walk on the path of truth. Kamaye kahok, spread truth. And these are the precepts and the base on which the Khasi society is founded on. And matrilini, again I would say, is evolving, is adjusting, but yes, we still take the lineage from the mother, and the uncle, the maternal uncle, is the head of the family. And I do hope you will read this book, you will Shadow Men, because there's a lot about matrilini there, because it's from the man's point of view, a Khasi man's point of view. And it's available in Amazon. So thank you, Gabriella. It's been wonderful being with you, and thank you for inviting me. And I'll say in Khasi, thank you very much. Khublei Shibo.